You're watching the 420 Pace Network, found at 420radio.ca and paceradio.net.
Coming up on today's show, we're going to be finding out what's been happening in the news, including a conversation with Barry Smith, the director of content from LIFT & Co.
Our word of the week this week will be Hempwick.
And as well, we'll be having a high five list, which is the top 5 most interesting, impactful, and powerful bears in history.
Ooh, I look forward to that list. And after that, we are going to do a Mary Jane strain, and I'm going to tell you what ATF stands for.
And I am ATF.
I don't think that's right, Timmy.
After that, a conversation with Choclair, part 3 of our interview with the Canadian rapper.
This podcast is for adults only, should not be used as a meal replacement, and may contain nuts.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Noobie and The Doobie. My name is Timmy. I am the Noobie.
Mary Jane, I am the Doobie.
Today is Party with Your Bear Day.
I know, and I'm sad because I forgot my bear at home.
Do you usually have your bear with you?
I don't. That's why I left it at home. Because I forgot it was Party with Your Bear Day.
Your bear was partying too hard last night and was like, I'm not getting up for an early morning of podcast recording.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, she sings too.
What does she sing?
A Beatles classic.
Okay, let me guess. I'm going to go with how sad it is that I don't know any Beatles classics. Oh, Hard Day's Night.
I thought you were just going to say Help.
Oh, that would be a good one too.
You needed help.
Okay, Hard Day's Night.
No.
And
we're not going to
Yellow Submarine.
Oh, no.
Oh, that would have been a good one, though. That's a song my mom used to sing to me while I was holding my bear when I was a kid. Oh. Yellow Submarine. We all live.
Was there a reason? Did you have a submarine toy? Or
I was born and raised in a submarine off the coast of Newfoundland, actually. Yep.
Not Ireland?
No, not off the coast of Ireland. My dad had already come here. But interesting, though, this is so funny. You know that the Canadian military, we're in Canada, by the way, for those of you who don't know, the Canadian military has 3 submarines. 2 of them are in the West Edmonton Mall.
Because they're doing us good there.
So it's like, we got a war coming.
Wait, are they a
clear out everybody?
Thing? Like, can you go inside them?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. I think you can go. Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to the West Edmonton Mall. That is on my bucket list. I want to ride the roller coaster in the West Edmonton Mall.
And go on some submarines. You see the guys going in there going, guys, listen, hey, put down the chocolate bar. I need you and you. Help. We need to carry this submarine outside because we've got a war.
They had to have obviously either built the mall around these submarines, or the more likely, dismantled the subs
and brought them in
and brought them there.
Then you start to question how they got put together in the first place. Are they even stable now? Who knows? Maybe Jim, the custodian of the mall, was like, "Hey, Jim, can you put that submarine together?" He's like, he had to learn some little tricks of
how to weld
glue and stuff, and so who knows. But anyways, that may or may not be true. That's something we do on this show, is spout off information that
we don't know if Jim had any part in that.
The submarine story is true, but we don't know if the custodian's name is really
I'm hungry.
Jim.
I said sub, and I was like,
oh wait,
when you're saying did they put it together properly, I'm thinking about like lettuce and tomato.
Let's talk about the sub thing, because I still want to talk about the bear.
No, I don't want to.
Okay, so there was a sign on the side of the road, right? And it said subs.
No, it didn't.
What did it say?
It said the sub shop.
Oh, sub shop. That's right. The sub.
But it was spelled
SHOPPE.
Yeah. No.
Well, sub was spelled S-U-B.
No, S-U-B, but it was S-H-O-P, wasn't it?
Oh, you crazy S-U-B? Isn't that what people say?
S-O-E.
Oh, okay. I've heard people say that, I think.
Sun under a bit? I didn't finish it. I said
no,
bit.
You said sun.
I did.
Okay. So the sign read the sub shop.
Yes.
Right. And
I don't even want to say it.
Tell the story. The listeners and watchers really want to hear this
story.
I know, but it's a good story. Go ahead.
It's a horrible story because I thought it was like the prop store.
So
do you know what a prop store is?
A prop store sells props,
What kind?
like for movies and
Nope.
stuff. What kind of props?
For boats.
Oh, like propellers.
Haha, see, and this is where this is where my confusion was. I just don't
You thought it
understand
was
why I was
selling
with subs.
sub-propellers.
No, I thought it was parts for submarines.
Okay, all right.
I didn't know that only 3 of our submarines, 2 of them were in the mall, or else I would have been like, that's a sandwich shop.
I was like, clearly that's a sandwich shop. And we had a very long
No,
discussion.
in all fairness, you were doing a job where you were delivering baked goods to
Tarts,
this location. So you were in that store. You knew what was being sold
But
inside.
even if there wasn't a store.
No, I stand by what I say,
No,
like
if
a prop store.
If I see the sign, the sub shop, in my mind and deep within my heart, I know that this place is selling submarine sandwiches.
Who sells submarine sandwiches in Canada other than Subway, Mr. Sub, and Quizno Subs? Those are the sub
You
places.
only-
Who
you
has
only-
a sub shop?
You only know the big boys. What about the mom and pop shops? The
They
mom
sell
and pop
other
sub
foods
shops.
too. They never
this-
specialize in just subs. I've never seen. So I was like, okay.
Well, I think
I didn't want to get into this.
this is something that we should mention. Go onto our social media. This is something I think for sure we will mention. If you see the word the sub shop or the words, do you automatically assume that it's submarine sandwiches? I do.
Oh yeah, I
You
tried
don't.
saying that it wasn't like a submarine or something like that. I don't know what I was,
was-
obviously not thinking.
It was a very weird conversation, but for the record, as she often tells me, it's never the weed.
No, it was never the weed.
Never the weed.
No.
So I did want to give my
Pay
good
homage.
friend some
Oh,
love
be
and
careful with him.
and some recognition. So this here,
Hold its head up.
it's like a little baby. This here is Bear.
Not Barry.
Not Barry. This here is Bear.
Not Fluffy.
This is one of my first stuffed animals. I had Bear and I had Monkey, who is actually in a pink baby suit right now. I probably should have brought Monkey because Bear literally has never been separated from Monkey. This is the first time Bear has taken a road trip, like ever.
Is that why he looks
So
dead
Monkey has a pink baby suit that was
Like a
mine.
onesie?
It's a onesie that
Okay.
I put on Monkey. So Bear and Monkey, they were also friends with Hippo, and they also had a friend named Elephant. Now, Bear's nickname was King because my sister had Queen. They were the king and queen of all of the stuffed animals.
Okay.
So like we had a whole world, but we weren't very creative. Like you would think like I'm a stand-up comic, I'm a
I can tell like
writer.
it was literally Monkey.
Monkey was a monkey.
And Bear.
And a hippo was actually a hippo.
See, it would be funny if Hippo was named Monkey.
Right?
But you didn't even do that.
I didn't even like pull off the irony or whatever that could have been.
Well, since we're talking about lack of creativity, every single doll or baby or Barbie that I ever got was named Jessica.
Okay. All right.
If you search, I'm pretty sure the #1 girl name, the year I was born,
It was Jessica.
it was Jessica.
And that's how, wow.
And I don't know if because I wasn't named Jessica, and in my class there was a lot of girls named Jessica,
Right.
that, Jessica was the pretty one, Jessica was the popular one, Jessica was...
Well, when you have that many Jessicas, they can all have a title.
Exactly.
Right? Jessica was everyone.
Exactly.
Well, fun fact, the #1 name of boys when I was born was Bear.
No. Interesting.
True story. True story. So this is my bear, legitimately from my childhood. I don't know what used to be on the keychain. He's got a pin of Garfield. Garfield
nice.
was the first cartoon character that I ever drew. So one day
Can
I wanted
see
to be
the pin? I'm a pin
Yeah, don't
person.
take it off.
No, I know. That's why I asked to see.
Like, is there an age on this?
Well, there's no age on the button. That's what I was looking for. A number.
Okay, this says
There's no
actually
number.
it does. It says copyright 1978.
Wow. So Bear has been with you since you were 5.
Since I was 5.
See, I have stuffed animals still from my childhood, but I have Wrinkles, the dog.
Yeah.
Do you remember
I
Wrinkles?
remember-
You could put your hand in the back and,
Yeah,
and
I remember
like a
the
puppet.
Wrinkles, yep.
He was my best friend. I don't have my glowworm anymore, which I
remember
absolutely
Glowworm.
I wish I had my glowworm.
I remember those commercials.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have an Alf doll
Mm-hmm.
that I still have, and I have an ET doll. So
Nice.
I clung to those things that I loved the show Elf.
Mm.
I loved the movie E.T. And my glowworm got me through many, many nights because I hate sleeping in the dark, or at least I used to. Now I sleep with like this thing over my
Mask
eyes
over
and
your
ears.
Yeah.
I have this thing. I don't want bugs. Bugs in it.
Bugs
Like
to climb
it
through your
muffles
ears.
the sound. That's what I tell everyone. It muffles the sound. That's what I'm saying, and I'm sticking to it.
Nice.
But yeah, I have those. But you can't change Alf's name.
Well, you can. You can.
No, it's
No,
Alf.
well, I guess it's kind of like when
Alien
you got
life
those
form.
Cabbage Patch dolls, right? They came with a name, and that was their name. But I could name Bear because he didn't have a name.
Cabbage Patch
this is
dolls.
his TV debut. We used to do stage plays with him growing up, but this is his TV, podcast, YouTube debut. Ladies and gentlemen,
And he's sticking his tongue out.
hello to Bear. This is my buddy. I'm so happy about that.
It would have been really funny if he would have fell off the shelf.
So I'd like to know what month that was, but yeah, I had him when I was 5. So that's.
Do we have time to call your mother? Be like that show. Would you like to call a friend?
Find out how old Bear is. I should look into that.
I'll send her a message.
We don't know his birthday, but we do know some celebrity birthdays. Let's get to those before we get the
do.
rest of the show going. What do we got today?
We have Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Maggie Gyllenhaal. I do know her. She was in Batman.
Isn't she Jake's sister?
She is Jake's sister.
Okay. I know Jake.
I used to think they were married, but they're not.
Oh, no, they look too much alike, too. Although some married couples, if you're married long enough, you spend enough time together, they say you tend to look like
In
the
some
other
places,
person.
you can marry your sister too. So who knows?
Okay, moving on.
Okay, so how old is Maggie?
Maggie is 44.
44. Okay.
We also have Missy Pyle from
Pyle.
Galaxy Quest.
Which I have never seen. I think that's the Tim Allen movie.
What?
But we did some research, and here is where we have a mutual connection.
Okay, yeah, this blew me away because I was like, oh, Missy Pyle has been in multiple things. There's one role I do not know what it is. Speaking of marrying your family members, it's Harold and Kumar.
She was in Harold and Kumar?
She's in Harold and Kumar where they meet.
Which one?
They meet them in a cabin. I can't remember. They meet them in a cabin, and they're like, hide in the basement. It must be number 2 because they're running from
I'm
the
sure
police.
it was probably called Harold and Kumar Go to a Cabin.
Well,
That
they
seems to be
end up in the
theme.
basement, and they're like, shh, be quiet. And then all of a sudden, there's like this like Cyclops downstairs. Turns out it's their kid.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, she
Creepy.
plays like the weird cousin,
All right.
married, whatever. So like, she's been in lots and lots of movies. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, of course. She's in Galaxy Quest. And I love that movie. So that's got to go on the bucket list.
Right.
But
To
when
watch.
you told me that she was in Dodgeball, I'm like, no, that was Ben Stiller's wife. That was the Christine girl. And you're like, no.
No. We're
She
talking. She played Fran.
And I'm like, no way. Fran had a unibrow.
Yeah, look at the pictures. Believe me, I had no idea. Look at Missy Pyle, and then look at Fran, and you tell
It's like
me.
he goes laser, blazer, grazer, and Fran.
You tell me that Dodgeball did not deserve an Academy Award for makeup and costume for that movie.
It's as good as Monster with Charlize Theron.
Missy Pyle.
You wouldn't have
was
even
Fran.
recognized
Seriously, look it up.
Yeah.
And who's our last one today?
I just want to say Missy is turning 49.
49.
Looking pretty good for 49.
Looking very good for 49.
And Brooke Elliott from Drop Dead Diva is looking very beautiful at 47.
47. All of them younger than I am.
Yeah, older than me, but I hope I look as good as they do.
As Fran, you're on your way.
I plugged.
Well, how about this? Are we ready to get rolling?
Oh, Timmy, you know I'm always ready for that.
Roll it! What's been happening in the news?
In India, a highly venomous snake was rescued from a fishing net.
That snake was so thankful that to show its gratitude, it had its rescuer for dinner. And in other news, scientists have now proved that fish use poisonous snakes as bait.
Chicago firefighters rescue groom's wedding band from a sewer immediately following the ceremony.
Unfortunately, they were unable to save that marriage, which has apparently already gone down the drain.
Illusionist escapes straitjacket 300 times in 8 hours for Guinness World Record.
Now, that would seem very impressive unless you understand the meaning of the word illusionist. He was not even in a straitjacket. He literally took a jacket, put it on, took it off 300 times, but that doesn't sound nearly as exciting. You know that it took that man a minute and a half each time he took that straitjacket? Look, check this out. Time me. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi. I literally would shatter that record and then say, I'm an illusionist.
Man swapped wife's cat 6 years ago. She still has no clue.
For the last 6 years, that same man has had to bite his tongue every time his wife made note that he didn't notice her new haircut.
Georgian judge banishes elf on the shelf from his county.
Elf appears on Georgia's judge's fireplace mantle. Georgia judge banishes elf from mantles. Elf appears in Georgia judge's sock drawer. Georgia judge presses stalking charges, pun intended. Georgia police dismiss Georgia judge's crazy Scrooge fears. Elf appears in Georgia prison after killing Georgia judge. Now he's serving 25 years to life.
I'm glad we don't live in Georgia. British Columbian woman distracted by cell phone gets licked by bear on front porch.
And in related news, a woman watching a viral video of a woman being distracted on her phone and getting licked by a bear was mauled by a bear.
Okay, so now for the cannabis news. We had the pleasure of speaking with Barry Smith from LIFT Co. this week.
Here is that conversation. And today we've got with us our guest, Barry Smith. He's the director of content from LIFT Co., the expo that's coming up. Barry, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
What is LIFT? What is happening? And how can we get people to get down there and check it out?
This is an event that's for newbies, and the aficionados as well, right? So it's people who are interested in finding out what kind of new product there are, because they may have experimented with cannabis in the past from a recreational standpoint, or even from the medical standpoint, and looking at it from a therapeutic sort of perspective. And they might even also be going because they're looking for their elderly parents and whether there's some solutions there from a therapeutic standpoint. So it's very much industry, like you said, but it's also very much consumer and patient oriented as well. So we can kind of cover the whole gambit. And it's also sort of split up into chunks, So, for example, we have the LIFT Cannabis Business Conference, which is very much a sort of business strategy, C-suite, full day, comprehensive business conference. It's sort of separate from the expo. It's the day before. Right. And then we have 3 days of the expo. The first day is an industry day. So that's all those folks who work in the industry that are professionals. We program everything. And that's my principal responsibility, is to do the research, identify what the topic should be, and find really good speakers to talk to those topics. So on Industry Day, for example, it's for those professionals at all levels of the industry, whether you are working in it already or you want to work in it. And then it's also for those who are looking to advance their career, maybe look at the competition and see if there's opportunities where, in other companies. So we try to make sure it's very broad in its appeal on this industry day. Right. And then on the Saturday and Sunday, the Consumer Days weekend, that's focused on consumers and patients. And it's all about identifying new products, seeing what the licensed producers have to show, what the retailers are. So it really is giving people a fun, sort of entertaining, a lot of pizzazz, but it's an education as well. I'm really excited about it, and I'm very proud of what we've produced. We've had plenty of time to do it in a sense because of COVID, having to delay and so on. Yeah. But we really did want to be bold, and we wanted to be like the early bird and get back out. We're very much adhering to what the provincial rules are, and doing our very best to make that as streamlined as possible at registration. So we're very confident about that.
I know you guys are kind of like Canada's Wonderland in the fact that they're always trying to bring something new next year. What am I going to see this year that's different and new and exciting that I'm going to get like excited about?
We've also added this year a LIFT Psychedelics Business Summit as well. So this is the first time where there's a business focused event all day, again, comprehensive, and again, sort of that sort of strategy and sort of C-suite folks. That's on the November 19th. It's the same day that actually the industry day is, so that way people can go to both. But we were told in January of 2020 that we had some psychedelics panels, and people said it was great, but we want more. So we've decided that we're going to step in again in that kind of leadership way. It's like, let's do something about business and about investing. We want the scientists there. We want the medical practitioners there. We want the patients there, because psychedelics is about medical therapy. So that's brand new, and tickets are going well and everything. So we're really happy that we've stepped into a spot where we can, teach and learn about psychedelics and where that's going. We've got some of that in the expo as well, right? Psychedelics primer. So we're adding psychedelics into that sort of larger cannabis sort of framework as we've had before. So that's going to give some people some opportunity to kind of learn some other stuff. And it's pretty cool and amazing stuff, right? I mean, what's possible there. And cannabis, as you know, like the industry as it's grown, has assisted, the movement forward for psychedelic therapies, right? We learned an awful lot from cannabis. So that will expedite things, and hopefully that make best practices come more quickly and that sort of thing. So then you mentioned like we'll have a vape lounge, like here's fun stuff, right? We're going to have in the agendas as well, for instance, love and romance and cannabis, fun with cannabis, like where are the great places to stay that are 420 friendly, right? Where are like like cannabis comedy, all sorts of cannabis sort of entertainment stuff. So things like that we've got there as well. I mean, pet treatments. I mean, everybody wants to know about that. Fido, right? Yeah. So we've added all those things like beauty treatments, topicals. We've added all of that real sort of, I guess, in a sense, sort of human interest stuff, right? Yeah. So it's not all about sort of white coats and ties, that sort of thing. So that's what we've added in there, as well as we've got a really fantastic after party that we're doing with Loophole and other sponsors, and that's going to be the Alma Combo. So it's just opened up in Toronto. Again, it's that famous Toronto venue, famous for the Rolling Stones and a great deal many others. Yeah. So we've got that going on Saturday. So we really wanted to make sure this was fun and entertaining, and that's the consumer side of this, right? Yep. Sure, it's buttoned down in business, but then it really just opens up to the consumers, and it's also a focus on what consumers want. So that's important to business, right? I mean, come and find out, do your real marketing research with your real market who are here.
Our audience is pretty unique, I think, in the cannabis entertainment world. We have a large base of newbies. Either they're just beginning, or they have no interest in cannabis at all, but they have children, parents, family around their friends that do, and they just want to understand a little bit more. What would you say to both the newbie and the doobie? Why is it a benefit to both of those sides to come together to be that this isn't just a doobie event? What is it? What is it for both sides?
Well, we've said this word education. It's an education. I mean, it's a trade show and it's an education. It really is an opportunity. You won't have another opportunity as a consumer, as a newbie, to talk to so many people. Right. Even if it's just about, is it safe? You can ask that question over and over and over again, right up to the doobie. It's like, wow, like what am I going to experience should I try this? Where can I get it? What's your
Right.
tips for it? They're probably not going to say, and how am I going to be safe? But they want to know that as well. So that's what actually is the opportunity here, is the enormous number of people that are really experienced, that know their stuff, that have more experience than me, that
Right.
can say, here's the experience for me. Here's what it could be for you. Here's what you have to be mindful of. And go talk to all the other people that are here and get lots of information. So they can find out about the fun and they can find out about the benefits. Noobie
Nice.
or Doobie.
We want to thank you so much for taking time to spend with us. When is it? Where is it? How to find more information?
Okay, so it's the full expo goes from November 18th to November 21st. So Thursday through Sunday. On Thursday, November the 18th, is the LIFT Cannabis Business Conference. It's all at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. On November 19th is the LIFT Psychedelics Business Summit, and that's also at the MTCC. And then the Industry Day and Consumer Days of the Expo and the trade show floor opens. That's November 19th to the 21st, Friday through Sunday.
Let's get to our word of the week, shall we?
We shall.
Our word this week is Hempwick.
Hempwick.
Yes, one word, but those compound
Hempwick.
words. Hempwick.
Hempwick.
Yes.
All right.
So hempwick is a twine that's made from hemp
Okay.
and coated with a beeswax.
So it's like a candle.
Yes and no. A candle is beeswax with a wick in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the hemp wick, just the wick itself, the twine, and it has a very thin coating of beeswax on it.
Okay. All right.
You're curious, right? Like, what is
I'm
this for?
Yeah, I've you
If it's
in
not
all
candles.
in all the things that you've talked to me about just in our personal life.
Yes.
I have this is one of the few words that I don't think you've ever brought up. So I am very interested.
So I actually wish I had some here to show you. A lot of people know what hemp cord looks like for
Mhm.
jewelry. You'll
Okay.
see people that have this brown, mostly brown corded necklace with like a beads or beads something on it.
Mhm.
Hemp wick looks like that, except you'll notice the difference because it has the waxy coating on the outside.
Okay.
And it's sold specifically for lighting your joints, pipes, bongs. And the reason you would use hemp wick
Okay.
over a lighter is because I just happen to have my bong here.
Just happen to have my bong.
So when you have a unit like a bong and you fill your bowl, most people then take their lighter and light the unit.
Beep 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 beep. That'd be funny. It's like the water starts coming down.
Don't joke.
It would be even funnier because there is no fire thing. So if water was coming down, then you know something went weird.
So when you do this, what happens is you're actually pulling in the lighter flame into the flower product,
Okay.
into the smoke. So you're inhaling some of the butane or the lighter fluid
Okay.
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
lighter.
Yeah, yeah.
So to prevent this, it's actually a healthier method to take the hemp wick, which you can actually wrap around your lighter because it's that waxy. So you can
Oh, so
wrap
you
it
just
around.
so you always have it on you.
You always have like a piece on your lighter, and then you just loosen it a bit, light the tip, and then use the hemp wick to light your unit.
So you wouldn't put it in kind of like a bomb, not a bomb, a bong.
Oh, like when you would like a candle, like you would.
Yeah, like you wouldn't just put it in here and then light the other end and it goes.
No, because it's not a fast burning. It's a very slow burning.
It's not a bomb. It's a
Yeah.
bong.
No, but you still need a light. Yeah, good call.
Right?
Harold and
Yeah,
Kumar.
see? I was
Number
waiting for her to
2.
get that. I actually reviewed that movie on our last episode, so go check that
Mhm.
out. Harold and Kumar escaped from Guantanamo Bay.
I love the cinema reviews. You have to check them out.
Check out last week's cinema review. I had a interesting take.
Yes.
Okay, so
I have never seen, now mind you, you don't use a bong very often.
No, I consume joints primarily.
So I've never seen you with a hemp wick. Do you know people that use them?
Yeah, I find people that consume bongs or pipes and actually care about their consumption will tend to try and find healthier, cleaner ways to consume their product. Now, there's a reason why I know people out there are probably like, oh my God, she's holding a silicone rig right now. She smokes out of silicone. And I'm like, yes, I do. Do you know why? Because I'm terrible at cleaning my units.
Oh, yes.
And I've been looking for years for a unit that is hollow all the way through. See how you can see through? Most glass units have ice pinch here. It's like 3 indents. Okay. Which causes, you can toss ice down the top and it catches it.
Yeah.
Call it an ice catcher, okay? I don't like that because I want to be able to stick a brush, a bottle brush down inside, and I can't clean the bottom of the unit. So with the silicone one that I have, I'm able to take it apart, just as you've seen, clean it, put it back together, everything. I could take everything out of here. Everything's removable, everything's cleanable. So if somebody cares about the cleanliness of their bong water, their bowl, if you see somebody with a nasty bowl and nasty water, chances are they're not going to care about the lighter fluid.
Right. So someone with a clean bong could possibly be using hemp wicks because it would be a symbol of your general care in general.
Yeah.
General care in general.
It's like a respect thing for your body. Because people, like, it's to have a cleaner, healthier, better way to consume cannabis. I mean, it's bad enough we're already putting it into combustion. Yes. There are carcinogens that come with combustion.
That's a topic I think we're going to have in the future because you and I have talked a lot about that.
Absolutely.
Of that whole thing of going, there's still got this one issue of dealing with lungs and that type of thing. So
and I'm a smoker. So, I will smoke over vape, over, eat any day because it's delivery method, it's how quick its effect. And like you said, we'll get into all that.
Yeah, the hemp wick then is kind of like the same thing of, look, you might not change your eating habit overnight, but you can, change it a little bit, make some small change. And so using a hemp wick is kind of moving one step closer to a healthier way to consume.
I mean, it's fairly inexpensive. You can find it at your local head shop or glass store. Go try it out. See if it makes a difference.
The hemp wick. It's our word of the week. Well, it is time for another high five list.
High five.
High five. Today's high five list is the top 5 most interesting, impactful, and powerful bears in history.
Oh.
Right?
I'm excited.
We have 2 of our personal bears here. We didn't want to put them on the list lest people say that we were somehow biased, but we'd like to take a moment to introduce them. Mary Jane?
My bear Jude is actually special because she sings a Beatles song.
Hey, Jude.
No, Timmy, not that one. It's actually I Will by the Beatles.
They will. This here is my bear. His name is Bear. He also had a best friend named Monkey, who happened to be a monkey. They had a friend named Hippo. He was a hippo.
Oh, so creative.
Right? So they are joining us here today, but we are going to go into the bears that you probably know. Now, there are so many impactful bears in the world. I've actually left a few off this list. Feel free. This could be the episode that divides individuals and say, how come that bear didn't make the list? That is a powerful, impactful bear. If that really stirs you up, comment in any of the comment boxes around and put in your thing. Now, I do want to give some an honorable mention before I get to the top 5. Honorable mentions, Yogi Bear from Hanna-Barbera. I always wanted to be a cartoonist. Hanna-Barbera was
Can't forget Boo Boo.
Well, you can forget Boo Boo. So he would, oh, listen, okay, oh, yeah. Hey, 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 I'm smarter than the average bear. That's pretty good, eh?
You gotta say, hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo boo.
See, Yogi had boo boo. There's like,
Hey, boo boo.
everybody needs a boo boo.
You're my boo boo.
Aww.
Hey, boo boo.
Hey, Yogi.
Then there is Fozzie Bear, the stand-up comedian bear from The Muppet Show. He came around in 1976. Waka waka.
Oh, the brown one.
Yes.
When you first said Fozzie, I thought you said Fonzie, like, you know, the blue.
No, that's Gonzo. Fonzie was from Happy Days.
Oh, hey. Okay, I get it.
Then there's Paddington. Remember Paddington, the bear from Peru that went to England?
Didn't he have like a jacket and kind of like a hat, but not quite?
Yeah, he had a big kind of floppy hat. Loved marmalade.
I feel like there's blue and yellow in Paddington for some reason.
Was that his boots? Did he have like rain? I think he had yellow
jacket,
rain galoshes.
Blue
Anyways, he was very, very polite. Children, even though you shouldn't be watching this podcast, but understand if you want a role model, although we got into a lot of trouble, Paddington was so polite. Always called everyone Mr. and Mrs. and Miss. It was
not like that Caillou kid. Glad they canceled him.
Caillou is literally the worst cartoon in the world.
Want some cheese with that wine, Caillou?
He can't have wine. He's a little child. All right, so here we go. The top 5 most interesting, impactful, powerful bears. And you're going to say, but you've already listed some. That's how big and important these next bears come. Here we go. Number 5, Winnie the Pooh. Oh. Winnie the Pooh came around in 1924. You know, people praise him now. He's like almost like a sage, a wise soul.
They've made movies and television shows and books.
And they have like what is it called? The Wisdom of Pooh or the Tao of Pooh.
It's just fun to say.
Well, it's it's always fun to say Pooh. Winnie the Pooh was actually a she in real life. She was called Winnipeg the Bear. Now get this. There is a statue of a Canadian lieutenant. Harry Colborne was his name. He was from White River, Ontario. There's a picture of Lieutenant Harry Colborne with Winnipeg the Bear in Winnipeg because there's the Canadian roots to this legendary bear. So the Canadian Lieutenant Harry Colborne purchased the bear from a hunter, saving it. On the way, I can't remember if it was at the beginning of World War II or World War I or near the end of World War I, but he was flying to England. He bought this bear from a hunter for $20, named it Winnie after Winnipeg in Canada. Brought it to the London Zoo, and so I guess kind of rescued it, I guess. But I mean, I can't remember. I mean, times were very different now. I don't know if you could just literally walk somewhere, buy a bear for $20, put it on your plane, and travel across seas. I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah, I don't think that's possible.
I can't remember the last time I bought a bear for $20. Now
I do. It was stuffed. It was like a stuffed bear.
It was?
Yeah.
Where?
At the mall.
I bought it?
No, I bought it.
Oh, see, I can't remember the last time I bought a bear.
That's true.
Where we have problems. So at the London Zoo, a young Christopher Robin Milne fell in love with the bear enough that when he went back home, he renamed his teddy bear Winnie after the bear in the zoo. Winnie the Pooh, Pooh being the name of a swan that he had also seen. I would have just called it Bear Swan, but he went with Winnie the Pooh. Now that whole story and interaction caught the imagination of his father, A.A. Milne, who ended up writing Winnie the Pooh about his son, Christopher Robin.
Isn't that amazing?
And the bear. All starts from Canada. Number 4 on our list of the most important, impactful, and powerful bears in history is Smokey the Bear. 1944, he came out. He was the bear who was known for a phrase that started 3 years later in 1947 by saying, "Only you can stop forest fires."
I remember something vaguely about fire protection.
Right?
Yeah.
Now,
I was very young.
That phrase in 2001, I believe, was changed from forest fires to wildfires because they realized that not all fires happen just in the forest. Could be in the wild. Now, mind you, maybe only you can stop fires. Might just be a good thing in general because
Yes.
because your house could burn down, and that's not in the wild. Anyways, he was intentionally spelt Smokey with an E. Because they didn't want to actually have the adjective for fire in his name, so they named him Smokey with an E. In 1950, so 6 years after this cartoon bear with only you was put together, a 3-month American black bear rescued from a New Mexico wildfire had his paws burned, his back legs burned. He was rescued from that and put into the Washington National Zoo.
Oh.
His original name was Hotfoot Teddy because he had had his paws burned, but they changed it to Smokey Bear. He was technically now the living icon, the living representation of the cartoon Smokey the Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he became so popular in the zoo that in 1964, he got his own zip code because he was getting so much mail. People were sending mail.
Like
to
Santa.
Right? Exactly.
Okay.
You could probably just write Smokey Bear
O-H-O-H-O-H.
and send it off. Now, he was a living icon there for 26 years. He retired from icon status in 1975, died in 1976, and had almost like a state funeral. But Smokey the Bear was not just a cartoon bear, but was a real bear.
Okay, so these 5 and 4 have been about real bears.
Correct.
Okay, I like
Number
it.
3, I do not believe is about a real bear, but what puts it on this list is because it was as close to a real bear at the time as you could find. Well, I guess not really, because bears don't really talk. At least, I don't know. Maybe they do. I haven't spent too much time around them.
Depends on where you buy the bear.
Number 3 on this list is Teddy Ruxpin. You know Teddy Ruxpin?
Oh my God, that was like borderline creepy.
1985. Teddy Ruxpin was the first animated talking toy. Not animated in cartoon. An animatronic talking toy.
Kind of like this. Just like how...
This one sings.
See? Kind of just like that. The mouth moves.
But it talked. Now, as a result of that new technology, it had like cassettes and stuff that you would put in his butt.
Yeah, you bought special tapes
Mhm.
that told stories so he could read to you.
I think
or
there are
something.
stores actually now that you can buy tapes to put in your butt. Anyways, he was the best-selling toy in 85 and 86 because it was so amazing that they had this animal that could talk. Ended up getting a show, as was the case back in the 80s. Almost every popular toy ended up getting a TV show. It was just basically long commercials. It was The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin, and it was him flying around in his hot air balloon. For the record, I actually told a young girl years ago, while I was just a immature young boy, that Teddy Ruxpin had died in a hot air balloon crash. I'm not proud of it. I'm just telling you that that's a personal connection to Teddy Ruxpin. Anyways,
Wow.
he had that TV show from 86 to 87. Now, he was only available from 1985 to 2019. So if you find a Teddy Ruxpin now, it's very rare. Pick one up because he's no longer in circulation. However, Nintendo has Teddy Ruxpin to thank. Some people believe that Teddy Ruxpin, the technology of Teddy Ruxpin, actually helped the movement of Nintendo from Japan into the American market. Because at the time, listen to this is so amazing. The American press was very skeptical about the NES coming here. Okay, because a couple years earlier, in 1983, the video game market had kind of fallen apart. In fact, one video game magazine actually wrote, the video game market in America has virtually disappeared. Think about it now with the way video games
Just like
are in
that
our world now.
person's career because he didn't know what he was talking about.
Like think X Games now, or not X Games, the video game
The esports.
the esports
It's
is bigger than regulars like on the field sports nowadays.
Those stadiums are filled with people.
Throughout the years, Teddy Ruxpin had different incantations or incarnations or whatever they are, reincarnation. And in 2006, actually popped back into the forefront of technology as being the animated interactive plush toy of the year. So for a 20-year span, Teddy Ruxpin a couple times was kind of like on the forefront of stuffed animal technology, but actually was part of his boom in the 80s. People actually say helped Nintendo make its transition. And so that's a pretty cool thing. Number 2 on our list of the most interesting, impactful, and powerful bears in history, I would say, are the Berenstain Bears.
Why do you say it like that?
Because most people think it's the Berenstein or the Berenstein, because a lot of people believe wholeheartedly that it is Stein at the end, but it is not. Berenstain is Berestain, the Berenstain
I don't believe
Bears.
you.
True story. I looked
I
it up.
don't believe.
Now, here's the thing. I actually wrote on my card Berenstein with an E in it. And apparently that's what everyone thinks. Now, that's called the Mandela Effect. The Berenstain Bears came in 1962. The Big Honey Hunt was their first book. Over 300 titles have been done. 260 million copies have been sold in 23 languages. And still, because of the power of the Mandela Effect, with all of that, people still believe that it is spelt with an E and not an A. Mary Jane has actually gone off to see if she has one of those books. But let me tell you this. As a side note, the Mandela Effect, in case you're wondering, is the phenomenon that we believe that certain things were a certain way, and that some people will now say it's like alternate universes, all of that stuff. However, the Mandela Effect was because a group of people believed that Nelson Mandela had died in prison in the 80s. If you don't know Nelson Mandela, you got to go even do a deep research. I'm not here to give you all of history. I'm just telling you. But this man did not die. This great historical figure did not die until like 2013. But so many people thought he had died in the 80s. And so now this sort of misrepresentation and remembering is called the Mandela Effect. So after 300 titles, 260 million books, 23 languages, most people still think there is an E. Oh, you have the books.
I have a few Berenstain Bear books. They all say stain.
Berenstain.
What happened?
Berenstain.
I heard a theory that somewhere along the lines, I think it was 2012, something happened. They said the CERN collider did something, and it changed and alternated our universe where everything is wrong. The Monopoly Man never had a monocle.
All of that is true.
Febreze had one E.
I didn't mean to stir all of this up. I'm surprised that we actually didn't have these books ready to go at the beginning of the show. Anyways, here we go. There's something that you learned. Berenstain. Number 1 on our list of most impactful, powerful. Number one. And interesting bears in history is ta-da! The Care Bears. Now, you might say, are they really the most interesting and impactful? I mean, we've had bears that have changed the technological history of our world. We've had bears that have impacted the mental psyche of human beings. We've had real bears that have become symbols for fake bears. Now, the Care Bears are on this list because they are not maybe the most impactful or the most interesting, but they are the most powerful. The Care Bears stare. This group of bears would fire love and peace and joy and happiness from their stomachs like this. The Care Bears stare. They would fire it out at the enemy, and they would win every single time. That is the most powerful thing in the universe. Everybody here, do it now. Do it with us. Everybody do the Care Bear stare. Fire that. Yes, there you go. Fire it off to everybody. Now, I actually have a song that celebrates the Care Bear stare, which maybe we'll put a link to in the
The
descriptions
whole
below
80s,
as well.
really, isn't it?
It's a celebration of the 80s. And the Care Bears were kind of the, all of the power of the 80s was wrapped up into these little bears. Now, the Care Bears have been around a long time. 1981, they were on greeting cards. 1983, they became the plush dolls. 1985 to 1988, they had a TV show. As well, they had a Care Bear movie, which I remember going down to watch in the theater. There were 10 original bears, which kind of grew, and then one of them was the Good Luck Bear, and because of my Irish roots, my mom had actually made, like she made a Care Bear for me and my sister. She got a pattern, and she actually made a Care Bear. I think my sister had Tenderheart or something.
Go,
and
Mom.
Then they created like the Care Bear Cousins, which is ridiculous because nobody wants a Care Bear that's a lion. That doesn't even make any sense.
They were my favorite.
Were they?
Yeah.
Yeah, the younger generation didn't get it. So this thing has grown and is still going today. It's been resurrected multiple times in the 2000s, and over 40 million Care Bears were sold from 1983 to 1987. It's a lot of Care Bears. Multiple reincarnations. They were from Kerala, but these are the most powerful bears in the world. Everybody now, look at us. Look at your neighbors. Look at the people who are all gathered together watching this episode with you. And everybody, one more time, send out the love. Do the Care Bear stare. From us to you, from the Noobie and the Doobie, to all of you, to Jimmy, to Susan.
No
to
names.
Chris. No names. Oh,
To
we don't
you,
want to
and
leave
to
anybody
you,
out.
And to you, and to you.
That's a little PTSD from
Romper
the
Room.
Romper Room Canadian show where they would always say, and we see you, Kevin, and you, Jimmy, and you'd be sitting at home going, they never said my name. But then you would watch again the next time, kind of like going to the casino. Like, this time, they got so close.
That's why they did it. It was crack for the children.
That's right.
Because we just wanted to hear our name.
They said Jimmy. That's so close to Timmy. So I'm going to watch next week because I almost won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said Mary Bain. That's so close.
Mary Bain. The top 5 most interesting, impactful, and powerful bears. Another high five list complete.
High five.
High five. Welcome back to another segment of Mary Jane's Strain. What's the strain we got today, Mary Jane?
Well, Timmy, the strain we have this week is ATF.
I am always ATF.
No, Timmy. I think that's DTF.
I'm not too sure about that one, but
Although ATF stands for, I'm not sure if I can say the actual word. I'm going to say it anyways,
Yep.
okay? And if we have to, we'll edit it out.
Right.
Alaskan Thunder.
Oh, hold on. Don't be saying thunder on YouTube.
Alaskan
Beep. I didn't see that one coming.
Alaskan Thunder or Matanuska Tundra. I wanted to make sure I said that right.
I can imagine that's why they go with the other name.
Well, I mean, people were probably not wanting to go around asking for Alaskan Thunder, which is why it's now ATF, and we all just sort of know that it's ATF. Which is interesting,
so many ways.
Because a side effect of ATF for myself is I become DTF. That was one of the things that everybody always used to say it was like, get this strain because it'll help you.
It just makes me think of like you're going into some sort of like I'm trying to think of say the North Pole, well, even up in Alaska, like in a brothel. I'd like to get the Alaskan Thunder. Well, okay, that's gonna cost you though.
Oh, that's funny. And they put you in a room that's freezing cold with like sounds of rain and shit, and they're like, "There's your Alaskan Thunder."
There's gonna be so many beeping in this episode.
Okay, so ATF is a sativa dominant strain named Matanuska Tundra after the region that it comes from in Alaska, the Matanuska Valley.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just so proud of myself. I said that I practiced all week for that. The THC levels can reach up to 25%, so they can get really high.
Okay.
And you will get really high.
Yep.
But Not at first.
Oh, there's a delay.
Yes, so this strain is known as a creeper strain.
There is so much about this strain that's incredibly interesting. Could I have the creeper strain, please?
So creeper weed is really interesting because if you've never had a strain like this, you don't know what I'm talking about. And you'll probably be knocked on your ass when you experience it because what happens is you consume it and nothing happens. At least not right away.
Which would be dangerous because the first time I consumed, nothing happened. But then, like, it could have been one of those things where it's like, I just go, like, whatever. And then, like, 6 hours later, I'm like, did I have the creeper?
Well, it's exactly that. Say, for example, you have something to do later on in the day.
Right.
And you consume, I should be good in 4 hours. And nothing happens for 3 hours.
You got to really plan this one out.
And all of a sudden, bam, you get hit by a wall.
I don't know if I like the fact that you have to do that much work and scheduling to go. Like I've seen you just go, I'm going for a smoke. There's no thought process. It's like, I'm going for a smoke, and you grab something and you smoke. Like this one, it's kind of like, okay, let's see. Am I free from this time? Oh, well, I got this appointment in here.
Well, see, here's the
I got to find time for this ATF.
This is the way I have always consumed cannabis for myself is if I'm trying a new strain, I always try it after I've done everything I need to do for the day, when I'm ready to relax.
Yeah.
And that way I know that if it's too much or I get hit with a ton of bricks, the worst thing that's going to happen to me is I'm going to end up in bed with an open bag of chips.
Well, the worst thing that's going to happen to you if you get hit by a ton of bricks is you're dead.
It just feels like a ton of bricks. But that's the heavy THC
right,
combined with the terpenes, which are linalool, pinene, myrcene, and limonene. So it's got like a wide range of, because like linalool is more like sleepy and limonene is more uplifting. So this is why it's like, it's not that it's a creeper and it hits you all at once, because the sativa, this is the thing with hybrids. When it's a sativa dominant or an indica dominant, sometimes what happens is when you first consume the cannabis, joint, bong, pipe, next thing you know, you get the sativa effect. You're super excited, uplifted, energetic, but then the indica side of the strain starts taking effect. Mm-hmm. And now you're starting to get slow and tired, and it feels like that wall has hit. Okay. So and everybody is different. Some people feel the indica side first, other people feel sativa, and some people just kind of have this nice mellow all the way through. So I would say ATF is a must-try strain for anybody who's like me and wants to try as many different things as possible. Make sure you do it responsibly, safely, and record your findings. Did you like it? Was it too strong? Maybe you might be like, oh, I'm never trying that one again. Like Bruce Banner, number 3 for you.
This ain't for the newbie. We're talking high-powered stuff here.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And if you are a newbie and you are going to attempt that, please make sure you have somebody there with you. So that way they can ensure that they can talk you down off that ledge. And remember...
And that you don't have a work Zoom meeting 1 hour afterwards.
That's true. And remember, if you ever feel too elevated, black pepper actually contains the terpene caryophyllene, which can help bring you down.
Nice. So, all right. Everyone out there, be ATF.
Enjoy.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of On the Spot with the Noobie and the Doobie. We are very excited today to have our guest Choclair in the house. I'm very interested as a newbie and met you at a cannabis event. Obviously, you perform at events, cannabis or not. You're just a performer across the board. But I am always interested as a newbie of people's cannabis journey. Our listeners on this show, we're very happy to discover are newbies and doobies, that there are people who watch this show because they know someone who smokes cannabis, so they don't consume themselves, but my voice kind of opens up a door for them to come in because I'm kind of speaking from their side. So talk to us about your cannabis journey, even as it applies not just to you as a human being, but in your chosen profession, just that journey and how it's kind of unfolded.
Well, I didn't start smoking cannabis. We'll use the proper name. I didn't start smoking cannabis till later in life. Like I was like probably like 22, 25 or something. And you know, like most people, like I had friends that would go, all they had to do was get around the fence of the school property so they could smoke their cigarettes and their weed, come back in, skipping classes and whatever. And it does it, whichever, it's all good. But I didn't get into it until a while. Like until my second. So on the Ice Cold album with Let's Ride, I wasn't smoking at all. It's the Memoirs of Blake Savage, which was the album after that, where I started smoking. And I only started was because I was touring with Rozelle and the Beastie Boys DJ, Mixmaster Mike, over in Europe. And we were going to Amsterdam. Okay. And I was like,
well, when in Amsterdam.
Like, yeah, because it wasn't legal everywhere. Like, you know, like it was very whatever. And it's like, I'm here. And I'm like, when's the next time I'm good? Like, these are opportunities just because you're an artist in whatever field of profession that you're doing. You get a chance to go to Amsterdam. You're like, I want to do what they do. And then when in Rome, right?
Right.
So I went to, we went to a cafe, me and a bunch of other people that were already smoking. And we went there, we walked there. They gave us a big menu of all this stuff, like what you can see online. And everything. I went and we rolled. I remember Face Off was on the TV. They had TV right there. And Face Off became one of my favorite movies ever. And I was sitting there watching it and I was like, and then it wasn't until like 3 months later. So I would have my little one here and here, but I didn't really get it. Like I didn't really get like what I was supposed to be doing. It just felt different, but I didn't get it. And I remember we were doing a show, me and my DJ Spence Diamonds, we were doing a show in Kitchener. And I don't know, we were back in the room and we had our friends with us and we were just rolling up and just something that I wouldn't do now because I'd never want to pay the $500 deposit fee. So just smoking in the room and just putting towels on the door and hanging. We used to hang like the little Christmas trees that you get from the gas stations all around the thing, put it in the blow dryer, blow it so the scent came out and whatever. It never worked.
I missed out on so much stuff.
Oh, you really did.
Yeah, we would do that. And then I just started laughing. And then he's asking me, why are you laughing? And then I just kind of saw the situation that it wasn't in. And this was just my own moment. And then I remember just telling him, I get it. Like, I get it now. Like, you know, like, it's like you could go and for me, it's like, I like to just be in a good space. Like, you know, like I'm not trying to, like when people come up, I think Cat Williams had a comedy special about it or something. He put in a comedy. He's like, you know, people come up and be like, yo, I got this new weed and it's called Murder, Death, Bludgeon You. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like, give me cloud 9 right there. And then just let me sit there. Because then when I'm there, like I'm functionable. I'm there. I'm just easy. I just go through the day. You know, I just go through the day and I just saw the fist bump. So I know there's something going on.
You used the word functionable and we've talked about that word.
He's never heard that word until I said I was a 100% functionable stoner. 100%.
There you go.
You're the only other person I've heard say it, so that was what the
No, you've heard it a couple times now because I think one of our other guests said that he was more functionable.
Oh yeah, it's a very interesting
cannabis.
word. So I didn't mean to destroy the flow of your story, but functionable got me.
It's true. It's like, you know, like I don't need to, like, you know, like me, Socrates went to Snoop Dogg's house one time. And we got to go there. That was a privilege on its own. And we go there, and then we're sitting in the studio. So if you ever see Snoop Dogg, sometimes he has that purple ceiling on his when he does his lives or his whatever. Yeah. So we're in that room, and Snoop is just up to us. And I remember this is like 2002 because they were playing John Madden in 2002, and he's just like sitting there like, hey, or it was 2003 because he always had the version of the year ahead. So it was like, so he was like, yeah, man, you know, you guys from Canada. Yeah, you guys are doing real good stuff. And then so by the time we're listening to him talk about how great Canadian rappers are, there's 18 joints on the table.
Holy shit.
And he's just handing them out. And then I'm like, okay, so now me and Socks, we trying to be cool, right? Like we new guys here. Like there's the Alcoholics, Exhibit, like all the West Coast guys, Warren G, DJ Quick, all the West Coast guys are all at his house because they were going on tour at 5 o'clock that morning.
Wow.
And we just happened to be there at 10:30, 9:30 that evening. Everybody's there playing games, hanging out, and this guy's throwing out all these blunts. So, so me and Socks are sitting there, and we have one, two, and this is right when Chronic was coming in, because this is early 2000s as well, right? Like, so it's like when it's not as like what it was, like how it is right now. And I just remember I go to Socks, I said, man, I don't know if I could do this anymore. And Socks looks at me, he's like, yo. So he did one of these, like you lean around the wall corner, and slide out the side back room just to be like whatever. And then I watched them play John Madden's for the rest of the morning. And then they left to go and do their tour. And then we left. And then that's where I just said to myself, I was like, I just want to be, again, functionable. Mm-hmm. I can work. Oh, if I need to take a call or this or whatever, I can deal with it. I don't want to be like,
can't function. Yeah.
Right.
I did this once. I was sitting like this, and I wondered to myself, and I said, I wonder how I look right now. So I got up. Obviously, I have to move my legs, but I tried to keep my upper body pose exactly the same. And I walked to the mirror to go and see if someone walked by me right now, what do I look like? And I was like, oh my gosh, maintain, brother, maintain. So I'm a sativa guy. I like the sativa. I'll roll one and I could probably hit it 3 times during the day because I don't want to get extra. I just want to, a little round off type thing, just a little round off. Let's make it cool and chill. And that's my experience where there might be a night here and there or whatever. You just go a little bit ham on it, but no, don't. I'm not saying throw ham on it. Go a little ham on it. Hard as I am MFer. But but for the most part, 1, 2, I'm good, and then, sky's brighter, night's better, everybody laughs better, all their outfits look better. My shoes, I don't see the scuffs on the bottom. I'm feeling better. It's just a great moment at that point, and I like to stay there. No higher, no lower, just right there.
Well, it is that time again.
Time for a smoke?
Unfortunately not. It is time to say goodbye.
Oh, well. We'd like to thank you for joining us today.
We'd like to also ask if you would go to our Patreon page at the Noobie and The Doobie. A little bit of payment every month will allow us to keep this show not only going, but growing, which is what we want to do. And so you're also going to be on there, though, if you support us in that way. Full interviews of the people we've been talking to will be on there, as well as extra I guess it's just extra content is on there as well. So please consider supporting us on Patreon. That would be great.
And if you'd like to reach out, you can connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at the Noobie and The Doobie.
And of course, please subscribe to YouTube or to your favorite podcatcher. Continue to watch or listen to our content here and push those little notification buttons. Sometimes they're a little sneaky so that you can make sure you don't miss any episodes.
Yep. And feel free to share our content with all of your friends, whether they're a newbie or a doobie.
And with this, I close. Please remember, our show is a weekly show. And so we will see you next week, hopefully. But until then,
don't forget to stay lifted
and keep on laughing. One day we will get the ending of this show correct. Cheers.
Are you looking for non-stop, continuous cannabis and psychedelic programming? If you are, then turn your browsers to 420radio.ca or paceradio.net, where you will find the 420 Pace Re-Rolled Saturday. Everything gets started at 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning.
Hi, I'm Timmy.
And I'm Mary Jane. He's the newbie,
She's the doobie, and this is the show
where weed,
we
tote cannabis
talk.
from both sides.
Is that even possible?
Stay tuned